honestly, we do come off harsh, masculine. Like, we come off like that, and no man wants to put up with that. The whole time she was talking with Shannon Sharp, there was a lack of accountability. She was very combative, and the things that she was saying, it was just very, like, rough and harsh to little questions or, like, little comments. Like, that right there is why black men don't really want to marry in our race. That right there is things that we need to work on as a collective, me included. Like, my mouth, like, my attitude, I hear a lot, oh, you can't handle that. And she said that about, I think, her dad. Oh, he couldn't handle my mouth. Why do we want someone to handle us? Yes. Why is it that we can't acknowledge that, hey, I have a smart mouth and I need to work on that? Why is it that you have to put up with that, and if you can't, you're not a man? Excuse me? Nobody wants a combative partner, man or female.
What is up, you guys? We are back with another video. We're so happy to see y'all. Yay! Guys, check us out. We got our podcast mics.
Yeah, we're official now.
New background. Maybe we won't stay here, but, you know, that's neither here nor there. I'm Abby.
I'm Nadia.
We're glad to have y'all back. Nadia, how's your week been?
My week has been pretty good. I work in customer service, so I get a lot of people calling me a lot. Mm-hmm. But overall, like, it's been a pretty good week. How about you?
Good. I've been good. I work in taxes. That's all I'm going to divulge to you all. It's kind of off tax season. I mean, I do work throughout the whole tax year, but off tax season is not as busy. So I do get a little bit of a break, which I do fully indulge in and appreciate, because I'm super busy during January through April.
Yeah.
We're doing a reaction video. I know everybody has heard about the Amanda Seales interview that she did with Shannon Sharp. So we're going to react to that video. I think it's gonna, I don't want to divulge too much because I want to do it as we go. I watched a few minutes of it, and then I said, let me stop so we can do a reaction. But I think it reflects a deeper issue that may be present in Black women.
Yeah, I also saw a few clips, and from the clips that I saw, I'll just say one word. I think she's kind of problematic, but we'll get into that deep.
And I don't want to make it about her. It's not about her. I think it's the fact that a lot of the way she presents herself are a lot of the complaints that Black men and other women say about Black women.
Yeah.
So as much as I watch her and I'm like, oh, she's very brash. She comes off very rude, very aggressive. Those same adjectives are used to describe Black women by other people. So I think we need to be mindful of it.
Very sensitive to what people think about you, because you are always keenly aware that you are an alien. You are keenly aware that you are different. You are keenly aware that something is very odd about you, and you're always trying to make the room feel good. We literally just talked about it because it's my habit.
Right.
It's my habit to try. I'm gonna cry already. I've only been here for like 5 damn minutes. It is my habit because I've always been labeled as this. You think you know everything. It's not that I think I know everything, but I really did know the answer. And I'm thinking I'm helping the room out by having the answer.
Oh.
But they like,
I think you're a know-it-all.
You're a lot. You're a show-off. You're extra. In my sophomore year of college, I was put in a suite with 7 other women. And the day I got there, my name had been ripped off the door and thrown on the ground. I didn't even know these women. And 2 weeks in of them not talking to me, I said, listen, I'd like to have a Friday night where I buy a bottle of tequila and we all just sit around and y'all can take shots and tell me why you don't like me. And everybody's reason was, I don't like you because you think you all laugh. I don't like you because you extra. I don't like you because you a show off. None of that shit is anything having, like, I'm not harming them.
Right.
Like, I'm literally just trying to
But they
exist.
formed this opinion of you prior to meeting you.
What do you think of that?
I feel like you cannot really like care for somebody without like them harming you. Like that explanation was kind of irrelevant.
Exactly. I was going to say, just because the reasons that they don't like you aren't valid to you does not mean that they are not valid reasons.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. So she's saying to herself, just because I'm a lot, that's not a reason to not like somebody. It's a reason to that person. It's a reason enough for them to not like you because they're doing it.
Yeah, like that may not be like their temperament to handle a person that's a lot or a person that is a know-it-all.
Yeah.
And that may be how you come off to people, but instead of you taking that information and saying like, maybe I should work on that, you flip it on someone else and says like, basically like, it's your problem.
Don't ever feel comfortable with people forming opinions not based on truth. Shin, I got in trouble for saying nigga on Insecure. I got in trouble for telling a brother he was a revolutionary nigga. In trouble. Like literally got pulled aside and was told, we need to talk about the incident that you had.
I guess when you're in corporate, you got to keep it corporate, man.
We say nigga on the show. We say nigga all day on this motherfucking show. And it was a black woman who pulled me to the side. And this brother is tatted from the neck down, eating edibles on set from Detroit. I mean, that's nigga. But I had said to him, because there was like a Malcolm X quote in my trailer, and he sets my trailer, my clothes in my trailer. Right. So I came to him, I was like, hey, did you leave that Malcolm X quote in my trailer? And he was like, nah. I was like, damn, you the only revolutionary nigga around here. He was like, I'm not a nigga. And I said, okay, I get it. Who said that? And I kept it moving.
Yeah.
This was the incident. So she's like, we need to talk about the incident. And I said, well,
what incident?
What incident? Well, when you just referred to him as a nigga. So actually, I referred to him as a revolutionary nigga. It was a compliment.
Right.
Yeah, but when he said he's not a nigga, you didn't take it back. I said, like, you mean like take backsies? I mean, where we at? And she was like, well, I said, but we literally say nigga on this show. Like, literally. She's like, well, you're going to need to apologize to him. But this is the action of like, you need to bow down. People are always trying to get me to like apologize for some shit I didn't do wrong, right, because they feel like I'm too haughty. They feel I'm too sure of myself. They feel like I need to be cut down to size all the time. And the unfortunate part of that is that it's not a reflection of me. It's a reflection of them.
Right.
Because what is it about me that makes you feel small?
There's a way that you act on your job, and then there's a way that you act outside of your job. In most jobs, there is no crossover. It's what happens here, and then what you want to do outside, you can do outside.
It's professionalism.
People are always trying to get me to like apologize for some shit I didn't do wrong, right, because they feel like I'm too haughty. They feel I'm too sure of myself. They feel like I need to be cut down to size all the time. And the unfortunate part of that is that it's not a reflection of me. It's a reflection of them.
Right.
Because what is it about me that makes you feel small and you want me to get down to your level? Why do you feel small? What's going on with you? Who made you feel that way? That's not fair to you. Come on, rise up. It's in you. You know what I'm saying? Like that's really what that is. So she brings him into my trailer.
You fake apologize.
Cause she there. And I was like, oh, you good? She's like, no, I need to stay in case something happens. What's gonna happen? I look at him, what you think is gonna happen? He's like, I don't know. I was like, oh my God. I said, you know what? I apologize for calling you nigga. I did not intend to offend you. Of course, in my head, what I said was, I should have called you a bitch, but I didn't say that. I didn't say that. But it felt like shit.
Right.
It felt like shit. So now we got to shoot the car scene where we're driving in Malibu.
Right.
So we in the car and I'm telling them about what happened and I start crying because I'm a sensitive soul and because this felt like another instance where I was being like bullied. And Issa laughed in my mother face as I was crying and said, well, you know, you do have a tone.
So you felt like you were being bullied for someone saying simply they don't like to be called the N-word. Like, why is it that you're always feeling attacked or bullied, or you feel the need to explain your actions when someone is just simply saying, like, I may not like you because of this, and it's justified, or I may not like being called this word. Like, you don't have to be so, like, on a defensive. Like, who hurt you?
Yeah. That's how victims are, though. Like, they are the perfect person, and the world has to change around them to make them more comfortable. And that's a consistent theme throughout all of her stories, not just this interview, but any interview that she's in. Everyone else is wrong. She has not done anything wrong ever in the situation. I don't think I've ever heard her. Have I watched literally every interview? No, I haven't. So, but from the ones that I've seen, I've never heard her admit any sort of wrong in any situation. So that just goes to, I might have been able to side with her a little bit if she said, you know what, I can see where they may have disliked me. It's never that.
Well, the white passing girl says again, yeah, no, she can't come to the party. So Joey's like, let me go inside and figure out what's going on. Again, I'm not about to stand out here.
Right.
So I start to walk away again, and now Elijah Kelly comes out. He's like, hey, where you going? I said, they not trying to let me in this party that I was invited to.
Right.
By Jesse Williams.
Did you attempt to call Jesse?
Did I attempt to call Jesse? I texted him.
Okay.
But he's in a party.
Right.
You know, so I texted him. So then Elijah is like, well, I'm one of the planners of the party. So they can't stop they can't stop me from bringing you in.
Right.
So he starts to bring me in, and homegirl grabs my arm. But I remember when I told you I've been a New Yorker since I was 12? So I had to shake that off.
Yeah. Loose me.
Yeah. Crazy. So we go in the party, and I go and sit down. No, sorry. I go in the party, I go by the bar. My homegirl goes to the bathroom. I'm standing by the bar, and a security guard approaches me. A security guard your size approaches me and says, hey, I'm going to have to ask you to leave. And I said, well, why do I need to leave? And he said, because you're being asked to leave. I said, well, who's asking me to leave? He said, well, let me go find out.
Well, why did he ask? Well, I mean, you came and say something, they're asking you to leave, and you don't know who's asking me to leave. You got to go find out.
He was given an order.
Yeah.
So now he comes back, and he says, Vanessa Anderson is asking you to leave. I said, well, you need to find Vanessa and have her come tell me herself.
Is that Issa Rae's publicist?
Yes. I said, well, you need to have Vanessa come and find me and tell me herself. So he then leaves again and comes back with 3 other men. And one of the men now is a brother, and he's walking towards me cursing. So he's literally walking towards me saying, you need to get the f*** out of here. You need to leave. And I'm like, mind you, I'm dressed down, honey, okay? And he's like, you need to leave. Now, Kathia was in the bathroom. She's now just come up. And I'm looking around, and I can see people seeing the ruckus. Right? So I'm like, why do I have to leave? Because we said so. So there's like violent energy and language coming towards me, right? I ain't no sucker. Okay? But I'm also not stupid. I can't fight 4 men.
Right.
So, like, I mean.
Right.
So the first one, who was kind, he had come up right here, but then the other 3 were right here. So I have to realize I've lost this fight. So I pivot to leave, but I pivot really fast because I'm going to still say my mother piece. So when I pivot and I say, I pivot to go, you, I guess they thought I was about to do something. So the white guy steps in between me and the brother and chest bumps me and throws me back.
Right.
So now this is an assault because I hadn't raised my hand to do anything to anybody. So luckily I'm nimble in a heel. So but now it's like, you know, now I've been assaulted. So your natural response. So I'm about to go Super Saiyan on these motherfuckers. It's Goku over here. I'm like,
Yeah.
And I hear in one ear, I hear the security guard saying, please, Amanda, don't do it. And it feels like, please, Miss Celia, don't do it. Don't be like me, Miss Celia. Don't be like Miss Sophia. And then in the other ear, I have my homegirl who's from the Bronx like, what the is going on? This is some bullshit. And all I'm hearing is beep. But I look around and I see nobody coming to my aid. All these agents and people that I see around. Now, none of them are Insecure. None of them are the actors from Insecure. But there's people whose faces I still remember. And they will not get a hug in a party either. I just refused somebody a hug the other day for this. And I realized, like, you got to go. So we walk outside and the security guard says to me, I'm so sorry. Like, I'm just doing my job.
So you're saying it's assault for one man asking you to leave nicely, or he asked you to leave nicely. You said, "Well, who's wanting me to leave?" He comes back, lets you know who is saying that you need to leave. He's telling you, "Okay, ma'am, like, please get out nicely." You're saying, "No, that person needs to come and talk to me." He comes get 3 other people to say, like, "Ma'am, please leave, exit," and instead of just saying, like, "You know what, I'll go peacefully," you want to make your peace be known.
Always has to make a scene.
And say F you and throwing your hands up. First off, if there were security or police officers, you don't do that. Yeah. First off, because it can be looked at as you're starting a confrontation or trying to assault someone. But it's just, you did something which is a cause. You got the effect, and the effect is, oh, now they're assaulting me. Like, it's your fault.
But the thing is, leaving nicely wouldn't look good on her. Leaving in the manner that she left in looks bad on the men. Because it looks like, why are these 4 big bodyguard men throwing her out of the party? This little woman out the party. But if she leaves quietly, then people are like, oh, what did Amanda do? Like, so it shifts the attention to these men as opposed to shifting the attention to her and people questioning, why is she being kicked out?
Like, this random person said Amanda needs to change her energy. Black Enterprise wrote an entire article that said Amanda Seales complains that she's not invited into black spaces. Mind you, these are all spaces that I have worked in. And the follow-up line was, but the internet, so they anthropomorphized the entire internet. The internet says Amanda needs to change her energy. I do not need to change my energy. I don't. And all of those spaces, aside from Black Girls Rock, have contacted me. I don't need to change my energy. What needs to change is how we look at energy and how we understand.
You don't. I will agree with her. She does not need to change her energy. But you have to accept the consequences that come with that. So you cannot say, I'm not going to change who I am and force people to react to you a certain way. You get what people give you. So, I've always said that, like, in talking to people, I will never tell you need to change. But what I will tell you is what you're currently doing does not lead to the goal that you desire. So if you want that goal, you may need to try another route. If you don't want that goal, stay on the track you're on, but just know you're not going to get what you're looking for. And that's what's happening to her. She doesn't have to change her energy. She doesn't want to change her energy, but every space you go into, people don't like you. They're not comfortable with you.
Why is it the biggest question? Like, she keeps saying, like, why don't people like me? They're letting you know why they don't like you. They're letting you know. And instead of saying, like, you know what, maybe, like, I've been hearing this so many times, like, maybe I should work on this. Maybe I should work on not being as, demanding or as, like, bold and eccentric. And I'm not saying to change her per se, but I'm saying if everybody is saying the exact same thing, there has to be some truth in that.
Yeah. And that reminds me, and you probably already know the story I'm about to tell, but when I was a child, her mom used to tell me I was a mean girl all the time. Like, she would look at me and my son, she was like, y'all are mean girls. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, whatever, she's a hater. Like, don't hate me because you ain't me. Mind you, she's grown. Like, she's not worried about me at all. But there was something that she saw, and it was not just her that would say it. Many adults will be like, oh, I love your siblings, but, like, I don't really mess with Abby. Like, they would say it blatantly out loud. And it got to a point where I was like, and this whole time, I'm Amanda. I don't think I'm mean.
Yeah.
Like, I think I'm making people feel comfortable. I'm the life of the party. You know, I think that everyone else is the problem. But then at some point, I'm like, why is it that people are receiving me this way? And while in my mind, I'm not mean, and maybe I actually am not a mean person. Maybe my intention is not to be mean, but perception is reality. So how people are perceiving you is who you are to them, even if it's not actually who you are inside. So it took me looking at myself, and I did have things that I need to work on. I had an attitude, I had a smart mouth, I was disrespectful to adults, and it took my parents beating that out of me, my church molding me, and me, myself, looking at my problems and saying, hey, you need to change, and you need to be better, or you're not going to have friends, you're not going to have a spouse, you're not going to be a productive person in society. And just like I was saying about Amanda, you don't need to change, but these things that you want in life, you will never get them if you don't.
Yeah.
So it's like time to make a shift and get on track with what you want to do. And now it's kind of a full circle moment. Like whenever I talk to your mom now, she's like, you're such a great person. Like, thank you for being in my daughter's life. And it blesses me because it shows me that I have made changes.
Yeah.
Because it went from saying, you're a mean girl, to thank you for being friends with my daughters. So that shows like I've made the necessary change. And it's not you make it and you're done. Like you're constantly changing and evolving and trying to grow and be better. But I think that that's something that Black women need to do. Like, people can never tell us we need to change or do better.
Or like our shortcomings, or give us any type of constructive criticism.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm glad that you said that. Like, you said that you got to a place where you looked within yourself and you wanted to make that change.
Yeah.
I feel like you need to come to a place where you want to make that change, because everybody else can be, like, everyone around you can say the same exact things. But unless you want to truly make that change and be a better person, I mean, like her, like, she's gonna walk around thinking that everybody else is the problem and everyone else needs to get on her board or get on her bandwagon and accept her for who she is. But not everybody's personalities is going to mix well.
Yeah.
And she may have that outgoing personality that another person will find like, oh, like, you think you're know-it-all. But instead of her, I guess instead of her trying to show like the type of person that she is and take into like, hey, like, I may be too much for this person, let me kind of take a step back and, I don't know, because I don't want to say like change yourself, but at the same time,
no,
you need to
sometimes you do need to change yourself. Sometimes, and I think we need to stop tiptoeing around it. Sometimes people need to change.
Yeah.
And that's okay. Whatever reason you got off track, sometimes it's because of your childhood, sometimes it's trauma, sometimes it's just because of the way you were raised, whatever it may be. Sometimes you need to change and to make adjustments. And if you're not changing, if you're not growing, then that is a problem. You are not supposed to be the same as you were when you were 5 years old, 10, 15. You're supposed to be a better person, a wiser person, a nicer person as you get older. Like if you meet someone who's our ages,
yeah.
and they act like a 5-year-old, we're going to say, okay, they have a mental delay.
Yeah.
So why is it socially or emotionally when we meet these women and these men that act like children, that don't take accountability, that have not developed emotionally, we don't think that way? No, if you're struggling with these things, I'm not saying that it's not a struggle. It is a struggle and it is hard to change and you will need help in doing that. But you need to identify that it's a problem and you need to change.
Yeah. Maybe I meant like not to change and conform to what other people want you to be. In a sense, like, some people may not want you to be so like bold, but if you're bold, you can do that without disrupting or being disrespectful.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So you can be yourself and coexist, but you need to do so in a way that is comfortable for everybody. If you're in that space.
Yeah.
If you're making everybody around you feel uncomfortable, no, you do need to change.
Yeah. And I think and that was something for me when I was going through different things and realizing people were uncomfortable with me, people didn't feel comfortable talking to me, I was like, I don't want to be that person. Like, we can clearly identify in other people those qualities that we don't like, and it's most likely those qualities that we don't like in other people that we may have some of it in ourselves too. And I would remember times where people would come into a space and I would feel uncomfortable around them. I was like, I hope I don't make people feel that way.
Yeah.
And it got to a point where I was like, but I do, because people would say they don't feel comfortable talking to me. I don't look mean. I look mean. I'm definitely that person that men would stop in the store and say, smile, you're beautiful.
Yes.
And when I tell you, it would send me through the roof. I don't get it anymore, though, thank goodness. So maybe I've changed in that regard. But yeah, so I really had to develop and humble myself and say, like, I want to be that person when I come into the room. Anybody feels comfortable approaching me. I make people feel welcome. I don't want people to feel uptight or like I'm bringing negativity into the room. If I have that Amanda attitude, I couldn't be that person.
Yeah.
So if that is the person that you want to be, like if you want to be that person that brings light and energy into the room, then you have to change. If you're okay with people feeling uncomfortable with you around, then sure, be the same. I still think in general you need to change for yourself because something is still wrong, but you know, you don't have to change in general.
When I saw people taking shots at Angel Reese for crying, because for the longest time, you know.
She is a young person. Do you know how disgusting that is? And that cornball nigga who loves to make himself look like he's the white people's savior.
Who said that?
Emmanuel Akko.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
Corny C-band.
Oh, Lord have mercy, man.
Come talk to me, white people. I'm the black guy that's nice. Cut it out. It's ridiculous.
Man, I know these people, man. I'm going to have...
Well, you're not saying it. I am. You're not saying it. And you don't, and I will let you off the hook. You don't need to respond. Don't feel like you need to defend them.
No.
But baby, you can't.
I'll let you have your space. This is your safe space to say your piece.
Can I have a hug?
No, you wouldn't give me no hug earlier. I try to get a down.
I have to get to a hug. And now I'm there. Can I have a hug?
Yes, you can have a hug. Thank you. That's it. Dang, that was quick. I feel good.
Good.
I feel good.
Good.
You hosted the BET Awards in 2020.
In my house.
And ain't been back.
Shannon, let me tell you, can't nobody say you don't put it together. That's why you were so successful on the field.
Why? Ain't nobody told you why you can't host no more? You can't.
Well, the internet told me that I haven't been back because I'm not likable. Baby,
I think for me, what bothers me the most, and I can only speak for Black women because I am one, but I think our biggest problem is that we think we're above criticism. And nobody can tell us anything. And I think you can get to a point where people stop telling you things and telling you that you're wrong, but you'll also look at your life and you'll probably hate what you see.
Yeah.
Because it's those course corrections along the way that get you to where you want to be, even if it hurts sometimes.
I truly feel like as a Black woman, I feel like when it was a time where Black men a lot would say like they don't want to marry a Black woman, or they go to like out of the country to marry outside of their race. Yeah. There was one point in time where I was like getting so upset because like, why don't you like want a Black woman? And then I started looking and I started really listening to what they were saying. Honestly, we do come off harsh, masculine. Like, we come off like that, and no man wants to put up with that. The whole time she was talking with Shannon Sharp, there was a lack of accountability. She was very combative, and the things that she was saying, it was just very like rough and harsh to little questions or like little comments. Like, That right there is why black men don't really want to marry in our race. That right there is things that we need to work on as a collective, me included. Like my mouth, like my attitude. I hear a lot. Oh, you can't handle that, and she said that about I think her dad. Oh, he couldn't handle my mouth. Why do we want someone to handle us?
Yes.
Why is it that we can't acknowledge that, hey, I have a smart mouth and I need to work on that? Why is it that you have to put up with that, and if you can't, you're not a man? Excuse me? Nobody wants a combative partner, man or female. I don't want to be with someone who's always combative in everything that I say. You have an argument with it. No. Like, why is it that you are correct and you are right in how you're making other people feel, but when you have those same opinions about other people, yours can be validated, but theirs can't? Like, I don't like that notion that everybody else is wrong and you're right and you're the victim. No. Now, do I feel like some instances she was the victim? Maybe. But I do feel like the bigger picture is, and I'm not just talking about her, but the bigger picture is take accountability for your actions. Learn how to treat people, how to treat yourself. But also, if other people are willing to give you constructive criticism, and I'm not saying every time it's going to come off correct or right, but if what they're saying is somewhat true or true, take heed to what they're saying, fix it, and move on. Like, you don't have to be friends with that person who's giving you the advice. Take the gem, apply it to your life, and just see like what happens.
Like you were saying about black women, we do come off harsh and aggressive. I think we all as black people can agree our life may be a little harder because we're black. I'm not saying I'm not using that as an excuse, but I think we can acknowledge that. If we know that, can we give each other just a little more grace? Like, if you're encountering a black man that may have an attitude, can you soften up instead of bucking up against him? If you know he's probably fought a lot through the day. Like, can we make that day a little better by giving a smile or saying hi or just being friendly, whatever it is? And I'm not saying that we don't have our bad days and our hard days too, but we can't change other people. But we can change ourselves. So maybe he's having a hard day and he may have an attitude, but if I soften up and he sees that I'm making those adjustments, I promise that he will probably make those adjustments too.
Exactly.
Because like you were saying, it did always hurt me when I heard black men constantly saying they could not date black women. And I was like, what is it about us? Like, what is it that we're doing that, that's really pushing them away from us? But then it took, just like in my childhood, it took me listening to the things that they're saying and taking heed to them. But you guys, I hope that y'all listen. I hope y'all followed along with us.
Yes.
Look, I want to know y'all's thoughts. What are y'all's thoughts on Amanda Seales? What are y'all's thoughts on what we said? Genuinely give us y'all's opinions. Do you agree? Do you disagree?
And why?
And why? We want to know. We want to know. So listen, like, comment, subscribe, and share. And tune in for the next video. What are we going to be talking about? I don't know, but we do have something special coming up for y'all.
We do.
Okay.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Bye, y'all. See y'all next time.
Bye.